Hey Heather, no mic volume actually from you.
Thank you, Ryan. How about now?
You are all good.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. We are getting started in just about 4 minutes here, as we usually do, right on time. So be sure that you are heading on over to YouTube or Facebook if you are not there already. We do want interaction throughout the content today, and we are so excited to have you here. So again, welcome. We're getting started shortly. Welcome again, everyone. I see a lot of comments coming in saying hello. We are so excited to have you here. We're getting started very soon. Do be sure that you are ready on YouTube or Facebook, that you have those open so that you can comment throughout the event. If you are hopping on right now, start commenting, tell us hello, make sure that you're letting us know you're there. We do want to see those for the event today so that you can interact and ask your questions. Hey, Bev, welcome. Hello, Jeff, George, Ron, everyone hopping on. Hello, hello. We're getting started in just about 2.5 minutes. All right, everyone, welcome to our broadcast today. We've got a lot of incredible content coming your way, launching something brand new tools never been used or provided before. So we're very excited about it. As a reminder, there are 3 ways to watch the broadcast today. I've seen a lot of you on YouTube and Facebook commenting already, saying hello, that you're jumping in there. If you are not on Facebook or YouTube, be sure to head on over there now as we get started on the call. I want you to be able to interact today throughout the content, be able to put those comments, put those likes and hearts on Facebook or on YouTube, put those comments in there. It does make sure that you get included in a kit giveaway. So if you've liked our Facebook page, subscribed to our YouTube page, and you comment throughout the call today, throughout the broadcast, you get entered for that kit giveaway. So it's important that you are over there and able to interact, as well as our Q&A. If you're in there in YouTube and Facebook, you can ask questions throughout the event, and we'll make sure to cover as many as we possibly can throughout the content. We do have a lot we want to go through today. So to go ahead and get us started, I would like to hand things off to Ryan Maddock.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're really excited today. So as Heather mentioned, we're going to take as much time as we can for Q&A. But today, we are launching a brand new email platform. I'm really excited about this because there are beautiful HTML templates, okay? This is a sneak peek right here at the emails you're going to see. They're beautiful HTML. Some of them even have video embedded, so that you can really connect on your messaging. It's really excited. And probably most important, they are easy to use. Okay. They're designed to convert and they are easy to use. Regardless of your skill level, you're going to know how to use these, how to convert with them, and how to use these in an email platform. So I want to welcome the rest of the team on now and kind of go through. So again, we're joined today with Kendra and Zoe, and Heather's going to be working with you on your questions. So really, really excited about today's calls. And ladies, thank you again for all of your hard work. Quick shout out, by the way, this Thursday, May 4th, we've got Masterclass. Now, today we're rolling out a new email platform, but on Thursday, we're really showing you how to deep dive into this, how to maximize it, how to make good use of it. So I'm excited
Don't
about
give too much away, Ryan. Don't give too much away.
I won't. So, so I'm excited about that. We'll get going on that. But the first thing I want you to understand is I want to talk a little bit about just kind of how email plays into things, what the overall role is, in email. And Heather, you can go ahead and get our next slide. There you go. So in talking about this, I guess one of the things I want you to understand as we start thinking about email, Kendra, I think that so many people, they think of marketing in general as a series of or. I'm either going to be in doing emails and that's how I'm going to go gather clients, or I'm going to go out there face to face and do it the way I've always done it and the way I've always been successful, or I'm going to dabble in with some of this new social content that you've been talking about. But really, none of these campaigns are an either or.
You're absolutely right, Ryan. I see it constantly because we've been working so closely with the aspect of marketing in the prospect of bringing our service to clients for so many years. I see this happen all the time where partners will ask us questions like, well, should I do that or should I do that? Or, should I do that? Yeah. Is that what I should be focused on? And one thing that you have to keep in mind is that marketing is an entire process. And one of the biggest fundamental elements of that process is the email. I mean, basically, when you think about it, email is literally probably the oldest form of digital communication. I mean, if you think about it, I'm old enough to remember pre-email in business, but I honestly can't. I can't even imagine not using that as the main form of communication that we use. And there's we even got the question not long ago, isn't email outdated? Isn't it something that's just kind of gone by the wayside? And the answer to that is absolutely not. Sure, there's really exciting new forms of ways to market. And we've been doing a lot of those with our social and with some of the other aspects, texting and things like that. Those are fun and those are cool and those draw an interest, but you can't ever get rid of that foundation. And that foundation for communicating with our clients is really always going to be email. So then we have to kind of think about how that works into our client journey. And there's so many different ways that we communicate with our clients. And like what's on your screen right now, there's that first touch, however that may happen. If that's something that grabbed their attention socially, or someone got some information from you personally, or you sent a text, whatever that was. But then there's also that period, you all understand this, where you have to kind of nurture that lead and mature it a little bit, massage it a little bit, build that relationship. And then there's what we all are waiting for, and it's that close. It's when we get them, to figuratively sign or commit. And I want you guys to understand that normally or most often takes place via email in some way. And
I want
so
to touch on that for just a second. Everything, I guess, like I struggle for an analogy, but if you think of it like a plant or anything else that grows, I think we know that a sale or a new client relationship, or the delivery or transfers of a service from our offering onto a client taking it, so often we think of this as like this one-shot thing.
right.
But I think no matter what the product is, especially with a new purchase you've never done before, there's a notion, whether it be clothing or a purse or a car, it's like this chisel away happens that makes me kind of feel like I need something. And you see an ad for something and things like that. And Kendra, so many people right now are getting like emails, for example, on take the ERC tax credit.
Mhm.
This is huge right now. And it's huge because it's has an over 2000% increase in Google search. But all of those things, yet we still find about 90% of the companies we encounter have never taken the ERC tax credit.
Yes.
So I wanted to touch on the fact that email alone isn't a one and done solution, but rather a chisel at a process that moves someone along into that.
Absolutely.
But the part that you said that really spoke to me, though, was about conversion. Because of all the chisels, how many times have you saw a billboard and been able to buy off of that billboard? And the answer is none. What the billboard does is it chisels at you. What the TV ad does, it chisels at you.
Mhm.
But ultimately, if you think about the things that convert, it is email, because you get an email, and what happens is you get an email on the right day. And we were just talking about this.
At the right moment.
Yeah, Kendra, right now, I'm going a little bit off script, but right now we've been mass emailing about cost seg.
Mhm.
And just this morning, we were talking with our tax director, Clark, and he said, I'm getting cost segs like literally out of nowhere. Some of these cost segs are years old. And he looks through the client card. No partners touched them. No one's worked them. No one's anything. And we laughed because we're like, we're in a 14 part email series right now. And we got
spanning
clients
over
that,
several months.
yeah, we got clients you as partners pitched 3 or 5 years ago that are coming out of nowhere, out of the woodwork was Clark's, terminology there, that click to buy. And so talk about that a little bit, and I guess why that is that email can be that catalyst that all of a sudden pushes us over the edge to finally make that purchasing decision.
Well, I'm going to say, obviously, our goal is to convert. So that's what we need that to do. We need whatever we're using to communicate to convert. I'm going to use myself as an example. I subscribe to lots of different things, different online stores and things like that. And I can guarantee you that I probably saw them on Instagram initially and liked or subscribed. Zoe's nodding because she understands all the science that goes behind this. And then they popped up on my Facebook feed because somehow those two are connected, right? And I was like, oh yeah, there's that thing that's really cool. And it, kind of drifted more. Like the seat cushion. Okay, the seat cushion I'm sitting on right now is a prime example. I saw an ad for it. It's like, oh, that's cool. Clicked on it, looked at it, never thought again. Then it appeared on Facebook. I was like, oh, there's that seat cushion. That's cool. I looked at it again, didn't buy. I got an email from them. And I was sitting down at home after a long day of sitting in a chair that was uncomfortable. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy it. So this is a series of things. And I'm not making that up. I'm literally sitting on the cushion right now. And that's just how it works. And I mean, you can jump in here anytime too if you want, Zoe. It's just really a science out of how and when we're reaching people. And there's some marketers that just kind of have it down and they know exactly what to do. And we glean from them. We learn a lot from them. But what's your take on that? Like it's definitely a science, right?
Oh, yeah. So every time you get an email in your inbox, there's no coincidence as to what time you're getting that email, what day it is.
Right.
You need to be optimizing email sends, which our team is doing the psychology and the research and the data behind the scenes. So you guys don't have to, and you're getting that finished product. We are going to go, I know it's overwhelming to think of email strategy. And on the masterclass on Thursday, we are diving completely into this, how to implement it into your marketing strategy. But emails are designed to convert. That's the goal of them. Any company that is sending them, whether it's a product they want to sell, a service, they want to get in touch with you and get a hold of you. And that's a designed part of the process. So it's in that sales flow. It's in that spot for a designated reason to convert with that person.
And it works. It just works. I remember when, and this has been several years ago, I mean, probably closer to 5, that I got some feedback from a partner who said, email is never going to close deals, Kendra. I don't know why you're spending so much time on this. And I said, I think you're wrong. And the way things have turned in communication, especially through COVID, had a huge impact on that. This is the preferred direction and the preferred way that our clients like to be communicated with. They prefer it over phone. They prefer it over anything else. But we have to, like Ryan said earlier, we do have to pull in all of the aspects. But email is that foundational one. That's the one that we're going to start building on and basically wrap back to. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I wanted to point out is, you have this audience when you're sending an email that you get to control everything with. You get to control the messaging, whether or not you use their name, where you use their name, how you're sending it, when you're sending it. And there is no other really fully controlled aspect of marketing than sending your own emails.
Mm-hmm. I like to say email is like the golden ticket. Like if you can get
really
the email, like the contact of an email, it is yours for life. Your business can hold that email for as long as possible. Social media could die out. Facebook could go away for a day. Email is not going anywhere. It gives you the ability to reach a large audience. Like Kendra said, you can talk to everyone, people who you talked to in the last 30 days, people you haven't spoken to in years. You have the control of who you're targeting. It also is like one of the best ways to build storytelling and authenticity, relatability. It's hard to get that story across in a quick Instagram post or a quick text. There's just not enough character room to do so.
Right.
So email allows you to build that story. Even if it's over through a series of emails, like 14 different emails we're sending, we can build onto our own previous emails and help build that story for them. And it also helps build relationships long-term, which is crucial in this business. And that's what we're all trying to do. And you can always give them a clear call to action of where you want to send them. So is it to the website? Do you want to get on a call with them? They can have a clear direction of where they're supposed to go. And sometimes it can be a little confusing with social media of like, well, I want to do this, but what am I supposed to do next?
Right.
Email gives that direct approach.
I want to tag in some too. When I'm in social, I'm usually on social for a purpose, and I'm never on social like necessarily. Like I'm never like, you know what? I really need some new shirts. Let me hop on Facebook. It's more like I'm on Facebook to entertain myself and to kill some time. I guess I'm willing to look at shirts. Whereas with email, by and large, like we are kind of there's an expectation that happens. When I turn on TV, I expect to be entertained. When I open social, I expect to be entertained. When I open my email, I expect to work. Even if it's personal email, I expect it's a bill. It's something to do. And it's like we're hardwired with email when you open the app to want to take action. And so I think that's why people are so much more receptive to be in that mode. And it, probably people, Zoe, are like, you've been talking for weeks about social. Yeah, I remember that little, in fact, I'm going to take over your slide for a second. I'll let you go back. I like the little road there. Social media, email, phone, text messaging, all these things. These are all part of a path. But email is part of that path. And I think that's what we're trying to say. It's got to be part of that relationship that you're going to build.
And honestly, like we're going to talk about in the masterclass on Thursday, Email is the golden ticket of marketing. We've seen social platforms die in and out. We are teaching you guys methods that can get applied to any platform. We're teaching you phone, SMS strategies that can work across the board. But email, like Kendra said, is not going anywhere. Like, we are all surviving with that inbox we check every day. And there are 4.3 billion other people doing the same with email. We have email users every single day. There is an 81% retention rate with email, which is phenomenal across the board. Across every platform, you really cannot see that. And that's just, like Ryan said, we're checking our emails maybe once an hour, maybe once a day, if not more than that, I would say. And we're going there for that to-do list. It builds your to-do list for the day. And there is a 70% open rate with emails as a small business. That is something you can track. It's something you're in control of. And with social media, you can't always control who's going to see that post that day. It's the algorithms playing into it. There's so much to it. And there can be a 300% click-through rate, meaning that link you're sending them to, that action you want them to take, they are doing so. And you can also track that metric, which gives us so much control into how to get those emails that we're going to send in the future a little bit more tailored to what they want to see.
Yeah.
I do see a lot of questions coming in that are kind of more detailed and dive in deeper. And I want you all to know we're not skipping your questions. We actually have an entire masterclass on Thursday that's going to cover, like, we just got a question, how do you get around being placed in a spam folder? And another question was like, what about subject lines? All of those things, we just don't have the time.
I want to quick fire a couple of these, Kendra. So, Ted says, I'm in masterclass. Will this webinar add anything new?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So today what we're doing is we're talking through the launch of the email platform, why email is important, things like that. But on Thursday, we're deep diving. We're continuing our strategy on, deep diving, reaching clients and things like that. Another one, Don wants to know, as a Prime member, I imagine you mean premium, how do I access masterclass? We'll talk about that at the very end. So good question there. Same thing. How do I access masterclass? So first of all, if you haven't seen any of the other masterclasses, I want to take a minute for this. It's a 4-part series, but each part is independent. So it doesn't matter if you haven't seen part 1 or part 2. Don't say, oh, I shouldn't attend part 3. Each one is independent of each other. We talked about building your social presence. In week 2, we talked about, or in part 2, we talked about the social ads and using video to reach more people. Zoe's taught event strategies, like how to pitch thousands of a certain industry with just a few clicks, things like that. But this week we're talking about email, but we'll be talking about that on Thursday. One of the other comments I want to pull up here, we get so much email, it has to stand out. I'm glad you brought that up, because we're going to really show today how to make an email stand out. And you're going to kind of see that. But that leads me into kind of the next segment here that I want to talk about. And I want to talk for a minute about styles of email and the types of emails that are out there. You could probably, if I asked everybody on here and did a poll and said, what's the best kind of email? Is it plain text, or is it something that has integrated video? You probably have an opinion. Is a lot of pictures or no pictures? You probably have an opinion there. Tone, is it better to be formal, or is it better to be more casual? And what I want to challenge you on, and I'm going to talk for a few minutes about 3 types of emails. And we're going to talk as a team about when the best time and way to use each of those emails are. And so the first one that I want to talk about is I want to talk about text emails. Now, it doesn't just have to be plain text, but what I mean is a text email. And the first thing I would challenge you on, because there's sometimes that I'm going to say, this is the best email. And the first thing I want you to do is I want you to consider the relationship that you have with this person. Okay. So Kendra had a great analogy in one of our meetings the other day. She was saying an email box is it's almost like someone inviting you into their home, and you've got to think in terms of your relationship with that person, how you would dress, how you'd act, how you'd talk. So I want you to think for a minute. If you have someone that you have a previous business relationship with, that's your relationship. So your email tone should be in accordance with that relationship. And if you send them something ultra formal, it might be a turnoff. So here's an email that I'm going to show you in a little bit. And I'm just going to, preview it here for a second. So if I was sending this to, I'm going to use, there's a local realtor in town. His name's John. If I was emailing, I'd say, hey, John, hope everything's well with you and your family, because we know each other a little more personal, or your insurance policy, whatever the case is. Hey, John, I hope everything's well with you and your family. With all the new tax credits that have been released for employers, our company, our insurance company is how I'd be positioning myself if I was one, has added a new specialized tax incentive division. The purpose of this division is to make sure that clients have easy access to the $2.3 trillion made available for small and mid-sized companies. Although we've been making these programs available for the entire My Community area soon, I've been authorized to pre-release it to our clients. Any employers or commercial property owners have a 60-cent, blah, 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 and then I lead them into it. So this is one example of where I would use a plainer email, because if you have a good relationship with someone, I guess a good thing, someone invites you over to watch the Super Bowl and they're friends, and you show up in a tuxedo with a very formal attitude, you're going to look out of place. You're not going to be connecting.
It's going to be
You just
uncomfortable.
show up in your chinos or sweatpants, whatever's appropriate, like everybody else. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm casualizing the relationship because that's what it is. Now, Zoe, I don't want to say every time it's someone use plain text. And I don't want to say the only time you use plain text is when it's someone because I know statistically, I watch your email campaigns and Kendra and the teams. Sometimes there's a 14 email campaign and more than half of them will be plain text. Talk to us about when else is a good time for plain text besides I know them.
Yes, great point. So plain text emails can be used in a cold campaign approach. So that could be someone that you really don't have that relationship with. You're trying to build that. And they can also be used for someone you would call their first name. You'd call them up on the phone. They can go across the board to both. The way you want to use it is there has to be strategy in either side. So the campaign has to fit. And plain text emails, like we see here, they're great getting across stories, getting to the point, having that personal touch point. But plain text emails can be a lot of what we see in our inbox. So that's why we sprinkle plain text. We'll talk about additional styles of emails that include some graphics and videos. When you receive a plain text email, there's a reason why you're receiving it, and the reason why you're sending it to a cold client or a nurtured client. That's going to be a little bit different, but we are going to touch on strategy in the masterclass on Thursday. So if you kind of dabble into plain text emails, but you haven't seen the results you want, definitely make sure to be there on Thursday, because plain text can be a really hard style of email to see good results with. It's not enticing.
It takes a lot of finesse
It does.
to master the plain text email. I'm just going to tell you guys, years it takes. So one of the reasons I'm saying that is I really hope that you're taking advantage of some of the plain text emails that have been provided to you. Because a lot went into the verbiage and everything that Zoe just said, we applied in there for you. And you can really learn from looking at the format of some of those. One thing I'm going to throw out at you that everybody's going to be like, what is that? Where are you placing your messaging? Is it above or below the fold?
Yeah.
It's not paper, Kendra. Nope, it's not paper.
Now,
another thing we're going to cover on Thursday.
These aren't things you have to master, because when we take you to our email platform, you're going to see that we've made these for you. Noel has a good question. Can you describe what you mean by plain text as opposed to other text? Okay. So I'm misusing the term a little bit. So plain text emails mean emails that have no formatting. That's no bold, no italic. This is not a plain text email. And that's why I'm calling it plain text, but I'm kind of using that improperly.
In the industry, it's used this
Let's
way.
Let's call it mainly text, or text forward, or text focus.
You can still have a button in it. You can still have a nicer signature line.
Now, true, when you see platforms that are looking for plain text, they want no formatting whatsoever. They want, typewriter. And so when I say text, I mean mostly text. And here's a good way to look at it. For a lot of emails that I would send, I may even skip if it's a really close person, I may not even have a button in there. This particular one we do because we're saying our company's introducing a tax division. So, we wanted a bit of formality mixed in with the bit of personal connection. And again, that's our reasoning why, but I wanted you to understand that's what we mean when we say text. Second type I want to talk about is the graphic email. So, Kendra, talk a little bit about, you send a lot of these out in email campaigns. And I love this one. We're going to introduce it in a little bit. It's not just ERC. I'm going to talk about it in a few. We're going to introduce this email template to everybody. But talk about when you choose to use these in a campaign and why.
A lot of times, I'm going to let Zoe touch on the reason they're set up the way they are. So that's kind of her forte. So I'll hold off on
Okay.
that. But we use them when we really want to grab someone's attention, when we want them to be pulled into visually into our messaging or into the service itself. And I mean, I think this is the right point, Zoe, for you to kind of touch on how they work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when you see a graphic email, you're going to see maybe a header photo. You'll see some plain text, a button. It can be all different styles. You can see here, this is one. There's many that you guys are going to have ability to use. You are seeing those placements for a reason. So there is psychology behind every email. Every single email that goes out, we can see where people are clicking, where they're not clicking, where they're looking at first, how long it takes them to open it. And emails are designed that way. So if you see 5 buttons on an email and you think there should be 10, there's a reason why there's only 5 and not 10. Even though the human eye, it could look better. To the human eye, it could look better to have 10. It doesn't perform. So we need to perform and design emails that are going to actually convert and perform. So when you're seeing placements and you think, well, I think this should be here, there's data driving every single design that we create and we provide for you guys. So there's always
all
data.
the way from before I started doing this and understanding the psychology and the science behind marketing, I didn't understand that your eye naturally reads in a certain format when you're reading a graphical email, and then where your eye stops is where you want your CTAs to be. And I'm not giving that away right now, guys. That's for Thursday. Also, color theory has a huge impact on whether or not an email works. And there's just so many working pieces to HTML graphical versus more of a plain text. But the one thing I think that we really want to understand is there's a time and place for both of them. So like we brought out earlier, it's never going to be either or with us. No. Because if you just start sending HTML, these beautiful graphical emails, you're going to lose this personal connection that you get on the other side.
That leads me to the third type of email. This one's my favorite. This is the one I respond to, and this is the text and graphic. I love this email. This is another email that Kendra's going to show you in just a little bit. We've got embedded video. We've got call to actions. We've got stats in 200-point font. And then there's text there. Now, the nice thing about, I personally call these, a lot of times they're slices, because that's how when I'm working with the design team. And so you've got a slice that has a headline, some text, call to action. You got a slice that has a video. You have a slice that has some facts. You have a slice that usually has some testimonials, things like that. The thing that I like about slices are they're a little bit like the buffet of emails. See, when you send an email that's topical and focused, it's a really good email. But if I'm not interested in the topic, you've completely lost me. And it doesn't matter how eloquent the writing is. It doesn't matter if Grammarly did their job and got rid of all the mistakes. Doesn't matter anything, because I'm not reading it, because I'm not interested. With this, there again, and I want to talk about the strategy there. You're going to notice on any great landing page or any great email, you talk about below the fold. Well, one of the things that happens is there is no fold, because when you're scrolling, you're always being enticed by the next section. So even if you're turned off by this section, it's like, what's that video? And then you're watching the video or skipping it, and you're like, 325,000 what? And you're kind of always being, oh wait, that's a picture of a manufacturer, and I'm a manufacturer.
Right.
And so I love this type right here, because no matter what, you're going to be able to kind of see all the different types, speak to all the different audiences.
That's what I wanted to say, Ryan. Ryan's a bullet reader.
Yeah.
So when Ryan looks at this email, he's going to see the bullets, and those are what in the imagery. That's what's going to impact him.
PPP, what's that about? Why does it say PPP? I thought PPP was over. You've got my attention though.
But if this email only had the bullets, it would lose something. It wouldn't be impactful to him, because everything would then in his mind just look the same. So that's part of the science behind it. Another thing is some people have to see that extra information, that extra context, and that's what's going to reach them. And that's why I had somebody ask me about 6 months ago, why don't you just make an HTML template and we can just use it for everything? And I was like, that's great if what you're sending is always the same context.
Yeah.
And it's not with what we're doing. We're trying to reach different people in different contexts. So what you'll see us doing is making one email that looks completely different from another. But our goal is always to convert.
Yeah, exactly. All the CTAs always lead to the client signing up for the service. The only question is, what are you going to do to get them through that journey? Now, Chris has a great question. When you send picture emails, are they stopped by virus protection?
Bev has the same question. And I, without telling you why, if you know how to set up your emails properly with the right necessary stuff, no, it doesn't get stopped.
Yeah, we
If
have a
you
great
don't, and you don't
dev
set your images
department.
right, then yeah, it'll
There's
get
all
stopped
kinds of
every
things
time.
without boring you with the details. Part of it comes to where you host your image. You don't put images in an email. You host them on a server and reference them from the email. That's part of it. The other thing is having alternative text to the, there's things that Google and Yahoo and Microsoft and everybody are looking for. There's rules that they say, hey, this is what we think makes a quality email. And then there's services that we pay for that check our emails against those sets of rules. And they look at hundreds of email providers and tell you what your score would be for each of them. So one of the things we do is we take our emails, we, funnel them through, and I'm not going to tell you the number, but we have a number that we're looking for on a scale 1 to 10. They give you a scale back, and we're looking for a number that's very high. And sometimes you have to choose, okay, if I pull that video out, I could score another 0.1% higher, but does the video add more benefit to those that don't? And you have to make those decisions. So it's part art, part science. So really good questions there, but all of those have been taken into account. Zoe, before we keep going, anything else you want to talk about this, this type right here?
Yeah, I mean, 2 points that I have. The text and graphic emails stand out in an inbox, and someone had a great point that you need to stand out. There's so many emails coming in. So when we design these, it's designed to catch someone's eye, catch their attention, and increase that open rate, which subject lines play a huge thing into that. And like Ryan was mentioning, these tools that we use, we actually have a whole section on Thursday in the masterclass of just resources and tools that you can use from us, and then also like external ones that, how to find email addresses from a certain company, how to check emails, how to do subject lines. We are providing a handful of different resources for you guys. So you don't have to conquer email alone. We are here, our team is supplying things. We also are going to supply external resources so that you can optimize and create your email strategy with ease.
Perfect. And Zoe, you can kind of keep going. I want to invite you to talk about just kind of a little bit about, why this process worked. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong spot in my notes.
I think it's my turn.
No, I am sorry. I do want to handle one more question first. Can these emails be sent through LinkedIn? I meant to talk about this. And so let's, I'm going to remove that for a minute. So absolutely. I should have first defined, and I originally had it in my notes here. When we say email, what do we mean? And so email to me is one-way text communication. Okay. One way. So this is text or SMS. When you do it in Instagram or Twitter in a DM, that is a two-way message. And I consider that to be SMS, short messaging service, which we're going to talk about in like 3 weeks. So that's SMS. But when we're talking about email, that can be a couple different ways. And one of the big ways right now is the LinkedIn platform, the inbox, which is nothing more than a private email, like in network. So absolutely, it works like email, that kind of thing. What I will tell you is that we have not scored these in the LinkedIn service.
I was just
So
going to add, yeah. So we're going to talk more about this on Thursday. LinkedIn InMail has a set of rules that are all their own as well. Yeah. And so we're going to touch on a little bit more of that on Thursday. It's not a negative thing. It's just kind of informing you guys of best use case when you are utilizing LinkedIn in that form of email.
Absolutely. Before we go to our next section, I want to talk to you for a moment about cutting through the noise about, and I want to talk about ERC for a minute because you're going to see the words ERC in a few minutes, and I want to address a few things. So ERC has originally gone up 2,300% from its previous high. Now I've seen numbers as high as 4,000% increase in its exposure, in its Google search, and things like that. And what I mean by that is these are clients looking for ERC. So here's my thing to you. If you have clients looking at ERC and a 4,000% increase over its high during the pandemic, and then you have companies that are out there mass emailing. I mean, I think we've all received emails or seen ads, take the ERC tax credit. So then why is it that even when I talk to other people in the industry, they all say the same thing? And that is that about 90% of the companies that they talk to haven't taken ERC. Okay. So ERC is not saturated by any means. The vast majority of companies that are eligible have not taken it. So I want you to think about this for a minute. If it'd be one thing if everyone's out there peddling something people don't want, but remember how I started. Google search inquiries. That's a business owner getting on Google and saying, tell me about the ERC tax credit. 4,000%. Okay. So you have huge demand. You've got a decent supply out there. But here's the part that you need to understand. So why haven't people bought ERC? And I think it comes down really simply. They haven't heard about it from someone they know. Okay. This is the key right here. So part of what we're going to show you is ERC and part of it is other things. When you see the ERC stuff, I don't want you to think to yourself. And I had a partner, one of our advisor partners say, I don't even want to bother with ERC campaign because I don't want to just be more noise. Well, here's the thing. They haven't seen it from you. They haven't seen it from someone they know. But there's another part too, and that it comes down to the calls to action. I got to tell you, I've went to dozens of these companies' websites. They're not good websites. They don't have a way for them to enroll and sign up and get going. And that's a big key part of things as they're going. So I want you to understand ERC is not saturated. That's number one. Number two, they haven't heard about ERC from someone they know. And the third point I want to make, it's not just ERC. And you're going to see this as a big shift in our marketing. Now, why wouldn't we just say we offer tax incentives? Because ERC is still the hot word. And for those of you who didn't hear, ERC got extended again. Okay. There's a part of me that just for joy, and there's a part of me that wanted to, shoot ERC. I was excited that it was over in a few months because we can stop talking about ERC. And then the other part of me is like, this is the biggest thing to ever happen in our industry. It pays out to clients more than 100-fold any other service. And it pays out 1,000-fold. I'm sorry. It pays out 1,000-fold in commission compared to our other services. Now, part of me wants to shoot ERC and pretend like it never happened so that all of you would go focus on WOTC and cost seg and R&D and the other tax incentives and not just talk about ERC. And the other part of me says 4,000% increase in demand out there on Google. We've got to meet that. But we think we have the solution for this. And Kendra, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but it's through something you're going to show in a few minutes where we're starting to position the terminology. It's not just ERC. Everything we're starting to show is more and more. Kendra, you mind if I put your screen up now?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I guess let me preface just a little bit. So, we've seen kind of some of the premise of what would make for a good email. But Kendra, we send campaigns, and I want to show 3 examples of emails that we've sent out in our mass email programs that have worked very well. And let's kind of walk through these a little bit. And I know
This
when you post them up,
the top is kind of easing cash flow issues. Great imagery. Wouldn't it be really nice? This one's pretty simple.
Got embedded video.
Yeah.
It's got call to actions.
Great imagery. The next one is focused on ERC. Like Ryan said, we're still going to take advantage of that.
Love
This
this
one,
email. Catches my attention right away. It's got video.
great imagery. It really, without going too much into the science of it, pulls you through the information by using color theory and imagery, things of that nature, and really kind of brings home the
Now,
messaging.
before you leave this one, I want to tell you this email right here is recently responsible for a $100,000 client fee. Okay. We sent this to a client that was dead in the water amongst a bunch of other clients. And that client uploaded some payroll reports, got in. I just saw their invoice last week, $100,000 invoice out because of this email right here to a client that was in the system and it was dead. They weren't going anywhere. They were old. If I remember right, I don't want to get the facts wrong, but it was maybe upwards of a couple years old. This email converts. And there's a bunch of other stories just like it, but that's this email right here. So that's an example. Whether you're like, I like that email, I don't like that email. Does your like commission?
It's actually
check,
not my favorite, but
your commission check will like this email. So this
Yeah.
is another example of an email. This
The-
one's new. I
yeah.
like this next one, Kendra.
This third one I love. As Ryan said, it's really starting to touch on this messaging that you'll see more and more. It's not just ERC.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for how many years? 20 some plus. And we all should know by now that there's hundreds of local, state, and federal tax incentives that are available to clients. We need to get that message apart. This is more of an informative style. You'll see that there's a lot more verbiage, but we use these blocks in color to make sure that we don't lose their attention and we do keep pulling them through. And you see all the CTAs placed in very strategic spots. It's not just there to be pretty. Although it's gorgeous, it's not just there to be pretty. So that is the third one. And it would be really, really nice. I know we've seen a couple comments like, I really wish I had a way to send these. We had somebody say, I guess I'd have to get a constant contact account to
Let's
do
take a minute
something
to
like
address
this.
a couple of these because we're about to unveil the email system. And before we do, let's address a few things. First one's from Sam. Let me tell you what you don't need in order to do this. First of all, you don't need an email service. Everything we're about to show you is from your email client, Gmail, Yahoo, Office 365.
People
whatever
still use Yahoo.
they do. Hotmail.
I still have Hotmail, so
So, you're going to do this through your existing platform. That's number one. Number two, and several people ask this, do I need to buy a list? Nope. That's not what this is about. And I'm going to tell you remember those numbers that Zoe was showing you earlier on conversion rate? Those are based on one-to-one emails. Heather, I'm going to mess up something here, so you'll have to get it back to normal in a minute. So these open rates right here and these retention rates, this is based on you opening Gmail and sending it to someone that you have a rough relationship with or a distant relationship with. Okay. If you want to go buy a list and send that out, you're going to be talking fractions of a percentage. And I'm telling you that you can make way more money on the people that if you picked 10 people and you went out there, because when we're talking about, especially with ERC, we can go get a client a few $100,000 to a few $1 million and drive that fee home. Okay. So no advanced email program, no, kind of list that you're going to buy. And the third one, I'm going to say no advanced email skills. Everything that Zoe just said, that was to prove to you that we know what we're talking about and you should trust our email templates. Okay. Frankly, because you don't need to know any of it because we've already done that. So Kendra, for something like what we just saw, normally people would think, man, I need to get a constant contact account. I need to build those. And are you going to tell me to go set up HubSpot? Please don't tell me to set up HubSpot. Enough companies have told me to set up HubSpot. I don't understand any of this. Listen, if you have an email platform on your device, which I'm sure everybody on here does, then you can do what we're about to show you. And that is this is your new toolbox, by the way, at I think 4 p.m. today or 5 p.m. today. You'll get an email giving you a link to it and getting you over to it. This is customized to you. Okay, so right now we're on a Kendra and Ryan test account.
Right.
Don't use this link because you'll just be driving business to us. So the first thing that I want to touch on, it's a question earlier that someone asked, and it says, I'm just getting started. Where do I find training? And Kendra, we don't have to go to it, but at the top of your email page in your new toolbox, on almost every page, you'll see just getting started. Now, this is our quick start program. This is a guided experience. So maybe you want the quickest way to your first commission or the quickest way to your next commission. A guided experience is a week by week. We release a new one every single week. And think of the difference. What Kendra's about to show you is the buffet. Okay, this is where you go up there with an empty plate and you make the decisions on what kind of masterpiece you should make. And hopefully we've given you some knowledge on this, and we'll give you more knowledge on Thursday on how to do that. Quick start is like the courses meal where you sit down and at chef's table and they just say, here you go. We decided this is you get this, you get cheese. And this wine, it comes with it. Why? Well, I can give you a fancy reason, but somebody smarter than any of us on this call decided that wine and that cheese would do something magical, and that's why you get it. Okay, that's quick start. Now, what we're about to explore is more the buffet. And Kendra, let's start with kind of the more text-based emails and talk about this.
I hope you guys like that sunk in. You kind of glazed over the fact that this is your new toolbox page for emails.
Yeah.
So you'll notice a lot of changes in the toolbox.
We can't even walk through the whole thing, but you have a whole new toolbox.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So there's what Ryan was talking about with the quick start program. What you're going to send, and here's a couple of little links that are hyperlinks that'll take you down.
There are 4 types. There's text, HTML,
industry, and video. But the ones that you guys are most familiar with kind of look like this, a little different, but look like this for the most part. And you've been copying and pasting them out of your previous page. All these are designed very nearly the same way, just they look a lot better and they're a little easier for you to utilize. So you'll see that you actually have a button, and this will translate when you go to copy and paste. So this is that email that Ryan was talking about, that someone you had a previous relationship with. And you're literally going to highlight, copy, whichever computer you're on, either it's right click, copy, or Command A, Command C, however it works on your computer. You're going to go over into your email program, paste it, and you're going to send it. One really nice thing that we're doing now, you'll see that your name, your title, your phone number, your email address, and your main link are going to show up automatically in here now. So you don't have to put in your own signature line anymore unless you want to change it. There are a couple things you still need to do. Anything in brackets and capitalized is information you need to change out. Okay. This link should always work and should always take them to your page. I always test my links.
Which page? And here's why. I want you to understand this. It's the page that the marketing team felt most appropriately matched up to the content. So that might be your main landing page. It might be a blog article. It might be a video. It could be a lot of different things, but it's the one that the marketing team felt paired best with. So you don't remember, like I said, you don't have to know all this stuff of, well, if it's this type of email, where should I send them? So these are your text emails.
Yep. You'll notice there are some premium ones. If you're in premium, go ahead, grab them, copy and paste them, use them. If you're not in premium, don't, because the links will not link back to your information for you. So they're all the ones you're used to have been moved over here with a couple of new ones sprinkled in. So there's your basic text emails. Same way we had them before. They just look a lot nicer and they're much easier to use. And we've added your signature line to it for you.
Next up, we have some text-based ones that link to a video page. Okay, so I'm not putting a video in these emails.
No.
It's still a more casual email approach. But the page that we're driving them to will be pages that have video on them.
Yep.
So
again, they look great. They're clean. On Thursday, I'll explain some of the design aspects, because when you're looking at plain text, you're like, there's not any design in this. There absolutely is. It's about where you're placing your messaging and where you're placing your CTA. And I'll talk more about that on Thursday as well. Now, here's something that we've been waiting for. And all those beautiful emails that we've been showing to you, the HTML with beautiful graphics and scientifically designed to work, are now available for you in here. So here's the HTML section. And I did get to put an image of each one in, so you actually know what you're sending, what it looks like full screen when you're sending it out to people. There's one for the cash flow positive that I shared with you earlier. So that great, beautiful image on top there. There's the one for claim your ERC tax credit with the video and everything talking about the system. And then there's the informative one about ERC. These are beautiful. I mean, I think you guys can all agree, just looking at them in this longer format, the way that they're designed, You can see the flow. You can see all the CTAs. They're pretty amazing. And
Now,
they're very simple to use.
Bev has a good question. If we're focusing on, say, cost seg or R&D, is there, do we have templates for that?
Yes,
Kendra,
ma'am.
not to get ahead, but if you want to scroll down to, and let's show a sneak peek of the manufacturing one.
You still have the plain text ones, but Ryan's given away.
I am. Bev, you set me up.
So I have already made you a beautiful manufacturing page. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it up. I'll try. But in the next few weeks and on Thursday, I'll be launching the restaurant, hotel, retail as well.
Let's sneak peek them, the manufacturing one, real quick. So we'll be launching these on Thursday. But this is your manufacturing one. It focuses in on the R&D credit, that kind of thing. And it's got a video embedded. All of these different things. Love this email. We'll actually be doing this for several of our services, as well as Kendra will be doing this for each of our main industries.
And I'm going to give away one of our secrets. The manufacturing industry loves to see dollar signs, you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm not making that up. That's not a joke. Dollar signs entice them as an industry. So look what we're doing. I want to show you some of the science. Dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar sign. You look down. Each heading, dollar sign. So this is important for you to understand why we do what we do, why we do little things. It's so important. So this is great. We talk about every single tax incentive that we currently have that are the top 5. I mean, if you go back up and read right here, we tell them we're going to take a look at what works best for your industry. We talk to them about their industry first, because manufacturers are very proud of their industry and what they bring to the country and the nationalism that goes behind that. So you have to touch in, you have to kind of, connect with that for them.
Phyllis, I'm so embarrassed. I've been using industry jargon. I try so hard not to do this.
CTA.
Zoe, what is CTA?
Call to action. The call to action. CTA is one of the most important aspects to an email, because the call to action is going to be where you send them post email. So to your landing page, where you want them to convert, the calculator, that's where they're going to go if they respond well to the email. So that's our fault.
Perfect. Kendra, what we need to do now, scroll back up to where it says HTML emails. And actually this portion that we're about to cover, this will be in a spin-off article. So I almost need to refresh us and not distract for 2 minutes. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have Kendra show you. In fact, I'll start. So, and snap. Is that what they do in the industry? So there. Heather, when you're cutting it later, that's what you do.
So let's.
Right, so this is our.
He just interrupted me, everybody.
I will set you up. Here, Heather, mute Kendra for a moment. I'll tell you when it's time. So, all right, long pause. You ready? All right, so I'm excited about our HTML email templates. These are brand new to launch. But Kendra, what I want you to do now is show everybody step by step how to cut and paste these. I mean, if I'm a novice, how do I actually get that beauty that's right there into Gmail as an example and send it out to a client?
Great. So there's a couple of steps written out here at the top. You're going to select the email of your choice. You're going to open your email client. That may be Gmail. It may be Hotmail, Yahoo, whatever you're using. Start a new email within that. So you hit compose, whatever system you have, and open that up. Put in who you're going to send it to. Pick a subject line, because these ones actually don't have a subject line already picked for you. And then you're going to scroll down here, and whichever one you chose, I'm going to go with this beauty right here. You're going to click on it. I believe that's my one, right? Yep. Okay. So you're going to click on it. No, my middle one. So I went with the middle one. I already have this open, guys. And you're going to be able to pull all this beautiful design into your own email program. And I'm going to show you how. You're literally going to copy everything. And on a Mac, that's the command button and A. On Windows,
it's Control A.
Okay, perfect. Then you're going to copy. It's Command C. I'm assuming it's Control C.
Or you can right click and do copy. But either way, you're going to get the whole page on your clipboard.
See that? It's all highlighted, everybody. I'm going to move over to my email program, which I've opened, and I've started my composure.
This is magic.
I'm just going to Command V or paste it in, and you can see everything's there. Don't mess with it. I'm going to send this one to myself. I'm going to put an amazing subject line. I'm going to click send. That's literally how
And Kendra,
easy.
click on your second tab there. There we go. You got it. So this
Easier to look at
is
it here. And what will open for them is this. I actually sent this to myself a little bit ago, so it was in the right format for you guys to see it on your screen. This is the email as it comes across from you.
now I want to tell you, we've sent these through to phones, iPads, everything. They're beautiful, and they really
There will be
come through
tweaking.
great.
Everybody's email programs are a little different. So, let us know when something looks weird, but there will be some tweaking as it goes because I can't test it with every single email platform right now. But this is how beautiful your email comes across. Aren't you guys? Wouldn't you be proud to send this from yourself? And all of these links link back to your own sites. This information at the bottom is your information.
Absolutely. So that is your email platform. Zoe, obviously with each of these, we've talked through and, talked about why they're important. We've talked about the CTAs, the calls to action. But obviously all this was designed. We don't just want to educate everyone. We want to convert these into client. That's what they're designed, to do.
Yeah, exactly. So I will say, first things first, these emails are beautiful. Like to get this in your inbox, it would immediately catch almost anyone's attention, especially that subject line you're going to put in there might be a little different than amazing subject line, but we will touch on that on Thursday. They are designed to convert. So we are looking at beautiful emails, but the best part is there is psychology in these emails as to why we're seeing what we are. I just want to stress to you guys that these are so much easier to use than something that you put together in a quick drag and pull email template platform. You don't have to do any of that. We are supplying everything to you. There's copywriting importance we've stressed on. There's a strategy on how it lands in the inbox, what time, what day. The clear CTA call to action is there, and the script psychology is there. So we are designing all of these emails with this intent. So we are supplying the best performing converting emails to your small business. And I know it can all seem so overwhelming. Everyone is loving them. The comments are great, that they look so good. On Thursday, we will be touching on how to implement these into your strategy, into your marketing strategy, and how you can effectively make this a part of your business and not do hours and hours of work to do so.
Perfect. Thank you. And again, that's Thursday. That's masterclass. Had a few questions on, premium and things like that. I just want to touch on some for a minute. Kendra, let me add this. Scroll back up a little bit. So we've got a toolbox, and, the toolbox, the vast majority of the toolbox is just everyone has access to. So if I look through this, you've got your homepage, you've got your verbal scripts, your email templates, your social posts, things like that. So Kendra, if you would, in a new tab, you just hold Apple and open verbal scripts in a new tab for me so you don't lose this page. For example, here's a bunch of text message scripts and things like that. Everything on here is all just part of being here and being one of our partners. Okay. So there's so many things around here. Next thing I'd like you to do, Kendra, I know, we don't have time to go through everything, but go to social posts for just a moment for me. So with social, same thing. You've got a lot of different aspects of social that are fully included. Everything has, but what you're going to notice is that there's a few things on here that have a little crown that have, they're for premium. And Kendra, you can head back on over to the email box if you would. But so one of the questions I saw earlier was, how do I know how much stuff is in premium? We'll simply look at everything that has a crown, and those are the things that are part of premium. But you don't have to be in premium. It's really just an added benefit. The one thing I would throw out to you is that if you were ever going to try premium, now's a good time, because you come in, you download all your email templates, you attend Thursday, you learn all your stuff, go through all the masterclass sessions, and then cancel it next month. So premium's $99 a month.
Information.
Yeah. Premium's $99 a month. It takes a lot to produce all of this stuff. So we produce as much as we can for free. And then there's some stuff like the video hosting and things like that. The ad spends we do to test our premium work. This stuff all costs money, and look at it as kind of a co-opt program that you're sharing in that cost. And in return, you're sharing in the tools. So there's a lot that's in free. And then there's some things that are in premium. Feel free to try it for a month. There's no contract or anything, so you can cancel it, really at any time and kind of go through. Kendra, as we start to run out of time, talk about, and don't go anywhere. We're going to finish here in just a moment. Talk about the takeaway action plans and, kind of what we need to be focused on.
See how Ryan makes me do the dirty work and give you guys the homework
I'm
every
going to talk about the email templates in a minute. So
what we want you to do is we want you to get in there and send at least 10 text emails, which are these ones up. Oh, I can't show you. The ones at the top.
We'll pull that up in a minute.
The more text versions to your closer relationships or people you've had a previous business relationship with. And then we want you to send at least 10 of the explainer video emails to acquaintances. And make sure you register for the email masterclass on Thursday. It's a pretty simple list this week.
Yeah. Let's start with the 10 text. Kendra, if you could scroll to the top here for a moment. I want to talk about the first one here. I'm going to tell you the one that I really think you should be sending 10 of, and it's this one right here. Let me clear my desk a little bit so I can get closer and actually see it. Okay. So this one right here, I love this email. And you've got a basic version and a premium version. What's the difference? Premium version drives to a different landing page. Excuse me. So let me touch on this just a little bit. If you know someone that would know your name back, okay, that's what I mean by previous relationship. It could be personal or it could be business. So I want to take this both ways. I want to spend a few minutes here. I want you to imagine that you're in the financial services space. I know for many of you, it's hard to imagine. And so imagine that you know someone, maybe you sold them a policy, whatever the case is. And so I'm going to take that from this aspect right here. So, hey, John, and I got to get close to my screen. So sorry, guys. Hey, John, I hope everything's going well. And I hope things have gone well with the new policy that we wrote last year. With all the new tax credits that have been released for employers, our company has added a specialized tax division. Let me pause there. Here's what we're getting at. Your company, your financial services company, has added a specialized tax division. Okay. The purpose of this division is to get you money. That's the next point I want to make. Now, although eventually we'll be rolling this to everyone in the greater Southeast Michigan area. Kendra, I'm up on the although part. Although we'll be adding this to everyone in the greater Southeast Michigan area, right now I've been authorized to give it to a handful of my clients. Any employer or commercial property owner can take 60 seconds to review this. I love this email. I think the marketing team did an amazing job on it. Next part I want to talk about. Although we've not made it public, if you have any friends or direct contacts you'd like to share it with, I'm going to do you a favor and I'm going to let you do that. Okay. Now this concept right here, I'm telling you, it absolutely will work. And you kind of go through and do that. And so again, that although I'd ask you not to make it public, if you have any friends or direct contacts. Zoe, talk for just a minute about exclusivity and how everybody loves to feel exclusive.
Yes, no one wants to get an email in their inbox and feel like it went to hundreds and thousands of people. And I know we all can relate to that. We see them every single day. But when you receive these personalized, they touch on your name, a previous circumstance, service you worked on together, your location, Southeast Michigan. I mean, that only applies to certain people in that audience. You can definitely split up also your list to kind of have these lists already segmented for you. So when you are drafting these, they don't feel as laborious to do. But you want to make sure everyone feels individual. This is the only email that went to just them, and you are waiting for them to respond. And we're giving you the opportunity to they can provide references for you to work with and reply directly to this email.
Yeah. Now on the premium side, Kendra, if you would open a new tab where the ERC and other tax credits overview goes to, it's the blue, go back to that. See on the premium, that call to action right there. Okay. So same email. The difference is we're driving them to this brand new page. I'm really excited about this. So these drive to the one will drive, the non-premium will go to your general landing page, which is great. We just made some updates to it, but I wanted to show you this messaging. PPP and ERC were just the beginning. and we take them here, and you notice there's a new menu system on your landing pages so they can thumb around a little. Kendra, take me over to the ER. Maybe I'm interested in the ERC. So go ahead and take me over to that. And I get to this page, and always danger of a live demo when we're sharing. But so I get here, I'm presented with a video. I'm presented with call to actions throughout and information about ERC. Maybe I'm like, ERC sucks and I don't want to take it. And maybe I click tax incentives instead because I'm not interested in ERC. And this is what I meant about choices. So I love where the marketing team's driving these emails. It says there's a tax incentive for that. And this is a new video. It's called There's a Tax Incentive for That. And it goes through all of the different tax incentives. And this is a page about that. Now, here's the great part. I don't want to show this right now, but on the new industry pages that we have, they drive to a page with this header so that people can go through this. So this is our premium site. It's actually launching right now. You're seeing it live. Kendra, if you would thumb back a few pages back to that email template, that's the difference between the someone you had a previous relationship with and the previous version. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a list of 10 people that would know your name if you sent them. And I want you to send them this email right here, because I'm telling you, it's going to have great results. They're going to feel good about it. It's not bulk, that kind of thing. Now, Kendra, you're also going to have them send 10 emails, but you're going to have them send the 10 pretty ones with graphics and images and all kinds of things. So let's scroll down to the HTML section and talk about your challenge for them. By the way, I think there should be a little competition here. Let's see whose emails convert the best.
No, that's not fair because it's 50-50. We've already talked about that.
Right. I just think if you guys are willing to indulge, I love HTML templates. I feel like my emails are going to convert better though, my portion of the challenge, because it's right to the point, it's personal. And I think here's why they're really going to convert better. People are going to be more selective about who they send those 10 to. These ones.
And you need to send 20 of mine.
Okay.
Yeah,
you can send 20 of Kendra's and 10 of mine, and we'll see if that kind of levels it out. Now with this, they are going to go, I think they should send it to 20, 25, 50 people.
It's really easy to do because this one you're going to send to any business that you think might be a good recipient. So, I mean, there's 3 different versions here. If you can't think of 20 different places, businesses that you know that would be good for tax incentives, we need to get you into some more training or something. So definitely send 20 of them. We already showed you how to do it. I don't know if we have time to answer a couple of quick questions about this side of it. Do we, Ryan?
Let's show them one more time. I know your tabs are probably all lost, but so the first thing I do is I select an email. So I just click on one of these, right? Okay. And that's going to open it up. And then if you're on a Mac, it's Command A. If you're on Windows, it's Control A, and then right click. There you go. Okay, so you're going to select all, copy, paste. And you've already seen what these, come out and look like. So that is how easy it is, to send that. You just saw Kendra do it. It only takes a moment to do. And you're going to go to the email you want. You're going to copy the whole thing. You don't have to use your mouse and do this. Click anywhere on the page, Command A or Control A, that's select all. And then you're going to right click and do copy. Okay. Now it's in your clipboard. It's called. Then you're going to open any email platform you want, and you're going to paste it. That's how simple this is. LinkedIn, let me send out a little LinkedIn challenge to you. First person to take an HTML template and report back to Heather that you got a LinkedIn sign up off of it. Heather is going to ship you. Heather's doing a little dance there because she's trying to figure out what I'm going to say. Heather, what are you going to ship them?
I'm going to say a marketing kit.
There you go. Okay. So what you're going to do, you're going to take this HTML template. You're going to go LinkedIn in-mail it to a bunch of people. First person to come back to Heather with a sale that you tell it. Now, I'll just be honest with you. We'll have no way of knowing if you're telling the truth. So you just tell us, hey, here's a new client. Here's the client's name in the system. And I got them because I emailed them on LinkedIn email. She's going to send you a marketing kit. Those marketing kits are $1,000 a piece. So this is no small thing. And she's going to send you out a marketing kit. So to get that going, please help Team Ryan win this challenge by picking a quality 10 contacts when you're sending your, and when you're sending Kendra's 20, So someone put in the comment they're unsure about HTML, so you can also use the plain text ones
Yeah.
in there if you have any
There
trouble
is a
with anything.
way, you should be with the LinkedIn InMail, you're going to have a better opportunity with the more plain text ones.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So again, your action items for this week: help Team Ryan send 10 text emails to close relationships you have. So pick your quality ones and give those to Team Ryan. The people you're not so sure about, they're a little sketchy. You don't
That's
really know if you
cheating.
want to send Kendra's 25. No, that's not how you want it. Okay, Kendra, I'll let you state the
Cheating.
challenge then. So
I'm nicer than Ryan, you
you're
guys.
nicer than that. Other part is register for the masterclass. Kendra, they've got emails. They'll get another email tomorrow, right?
Yes, you'll get a follow-up email. Actually, it's going to go out this evening.
I'm talking about how to register for masterclass.
Oh, yes, that'll go out tomorrow.
Okay. And then all else fails, click ask support, and they
Yep.
will get your registration link to get there. We've got a number of questions on premium, but I think we've answered that enough. Go check that out in your toolbox. I guess another one's coming in. Kendra, how do I access this toolbox? So in the portal, there's a big banner that says click here for your toolbox. Kendra, take us up to the home page of the toolbox just for a minute. Let's spend our last few minutes showing them their brand new toolbox, because I love this thing. So here's your new toolbox. If you've bookmarked the old one, you'll see a banner on there letting you get over to this one. So it's got a layout with phone scripts, text message, that quick start link that I talked about. It's got links to all of your social templates, your explainer videos. It's got links to your landing pages, all of them, because you have so many landing pages. And the last thing I want to touch on, here's Masterclass right here. It's right on the homepage of so you can access Quick Start. Quick Start is your quickest way to your next commission. It's a guided experience. Masterclass. When you go into Masterclass, you'll be able to register for week 3 coming up, as well as, Kendra, let's head over there for a minute. Check out Masterclass. So when you get over to Masterclass, you'll be able to register, but you'll also be able to access the previous parts in this. So we went through, that one's live on the video, but then there's part 1, part 2, and this upcoming week we're going to part 3, and we'll be going through that. So you'll be able to access those once you're registered. You'll receive access to part 1 and part 2. You don't have to watch part 1 and part 2 before attending. So Zoe, one last time, what are we covering this week in part 3?
This is a great intro to what we're going to talk about on Thursday, and just really dive into email campaigns that actually convert. Everything we talked about, the beautiful templates, HTML, when to send. We are going to break down the entire strategies, how to implement into your own business, and then also resources and tools. We all came together as a team and grabbed our top favorite resources that helped us evolve our email experience throughout the years, and we are providing those to you. So basically, the last 5 to 10 years of email experience Kendra and I have, we're handing that over to you in a quick 5-second section on the masterclass and the syllabus. So we will be diving into more and more email and how it's going to build your business, how it's going to automate your business, and close those clients.
Absolutely. Well, that is it for us today. That's the launch of our email platform. I appreciate all the kind comments over there. By the way, if you're watching on the webpage, which I notice most of you are, if you're watching on the webpage, I'd encourage you next time. For masterclasses, you have to watch on the website, but next time, click on the YouTube option or the Facebook option, and that's what allows you to insert great comments, where we can put them up on the screen. We can engage with you and we can see those. And so watch there, and you'll have the link right on the page. But other than that, on Thursday, you'll actually watch on the page there. So Kendra, I see you have a final word.
Yeah, Chris is so funny. He did this big shout out and then he said attention getting LOL. And he had a question about additional types of content for CPAs and some other stuff. CPAs, if you guys want to see some content for CPAs, we do have the text, email that we've always had for them. That's still there for you. If you really want me to do an HTML one, shoot into support. If there's something you guys want to see, give us some feedback as to why over to Heather's department, and she'll let me know. So if you say, I want something for CPAs because I don't have anything that does this, then we're able to take that information and design something that fits your need. So definitely, if you guys want to see something specific, send it in. We'll make a decision, executive level. If it fits, and we'll get it out there for you.
Yeah. Let me tell you about some of the ones that are coming up. First of all, we've got our industry ones, which will be rolling out as part of Masterclass in the coming weeks, which are manufacturers, hotels, restaurants, and retailers. Now, the great part is you saw maybe a month ago, we launched the social templates that target them. And Zoe taught you in part 1 how to promote those for just a few bucks, how to go out there and talk to hundreds of restaurants, let's say, about ERC. And then we have these great landing pages that we drive those social posts to. And now you're going to have email templates that do this. So you've got plain more text type emails. You've got video based emails. You've got full HTML emails. Then you have industry emails. And Kendra, next beyond that will be service specific emails.
Services.
Like the R&D email and the WOTC email, things like that.
Yep.
We've had ERC for quite a while, but all those are to come. We're continuing to build out the platform, so we're excited about that. So, All right, thank you, everybody. We will see you on Thursday. Get registered for that right on the homepage of your toolbox, and you'll see if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there'll be Masterclass, and you can click there to register, or you could wait for your email tomorrow because that's what it's all about. And Kendra will email you, or she emailed you last, I think Thursday or Friday as well, and driving you to this page where you can get registered and get going on that. Thank you to our marketing team and all the people in our dev team, everybody that's not on here, because they're the ones that working literally day and night to produce this content, get this stuff up there. Thank you to our support team, which Heather, you're here representing, but you're now by no means the support team. And so, yeah, thank you everybody for attending, and we look forward to it. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you.